What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Bets and Ball Games with Edwards and Greeson. Let's get started by telling you about our great friends at FanDuel Player Props, some of which we'll discuss in a minute for the season. They've got some specials up. Same game parlays. FanDuel's same game parlays menu is deep and impressive, so you can really build some fun combinations around player performances and game outcomes. FanDuel's got you covered with competitive odds and tons of betting options. Just remember to bet responsibly and have fun with it. All right, Mr. Greeson, much to discuss. I mean, you had a big day yesterday. You were adding to your ring collection before lunchtime.
Oh, I mean, War Eagle, man. I mean, look, we had to take 7 victory laps around Jordan-Hare. I mean, we celebrated titles in like 1910, 1913, 1914, 1958, which would have been back to back. I mean, let's talk about the team of the 50s. I mean, God bless all those hardworking Army and Navy folks and Notre Dame and whoever owned the 50s before us, but we went back to back.
And then 93 and 04?
83, 93, 2004. Look, almost every Auburn traditionalist I know has at one time or another mocked our arch rival Alabama about claiming 2014 total national championships. Not the year 2014.
Okay, you confused me there for a second. Yeah.
Claiming everything the Liberty Bowl win was, hey, somebody thinks we're the national champion. Granted, maybe the Tuscaloosa News, but they're still celebrating it.
Now, they have several that are nonsense. Like one of them, I think they had 2 losses and 1 tie.
And for a long time, they did it before bowl games. Right. Not Alabama. I'm talking about the national championship declarations were before bowl games. But a couple, 3 things here that not to apologize it, because in truth, in my mind, Auburn still has 2. 57 is universally acknowledged, and anybody who wants to downgrade anything that happened in 2010, you're barking up the wrong tree. But here was the statement Auburn AD John Cohen sent out when announcing that they're going to hang all these years across. And look, man, perception is now part of the allure, not only to recruits, not only to portal, but also to the TV interests, which drive the college football playoff because they want the best matchups possible. Here's what Cohen had to say. For too long, Auburn has chosen a humble approach to our program's storied history, choosing to recognize only Associated Press national championships. Starting this fall, we have made the decision to honor the accomplishments of our deserving student athletes, coaches, and teams from Auburn's proud history. Our visible national championship recognitions now align with the well-established standard used by NCAA's official record book and our peers across the nation.
Are they going to hang or not? Or do y'all hang banners or do y'all paint it on Jordan-Hare's walls like national titles this year?
Bird, hey, bro. I'm not calling it Ben Griffin Stadium. Let's get the pronunciation of the stadium right.
Jordan-Hare.
Jordan-Hare.
Did I say Jordan? I know it's Jordan.
You did. You said Michael Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Oh, I always say Jordan. My bad. I'm aware of that pronunciation.
The only place I know that they have it is it's across the facade in the stadium. I don't know how you're going to add a place for 7 banners. I guess they'll put them in the locker room or do whatever they want to do. But
well, here, maybe you could get a little lesson from me on the 7 banners, because Spurrier won 7 SECs in 12 years. Now, it wasn't recognized by the SEC in 1990 because of like Galen Hall, some 1986 violation.
So you technically are in support at least of the 1993 national championship. Because if you're going to claim a Florida SEC championship because of Galen Hall's NCAA violations, then Auburn was the only undefeated team in 1993 in the country.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. Tell me about what everything else in 93 and who was that when Washington and Michigan like shared it, or was that in the 80s?
No, I think that was, I want to say that was,
here I'm looking it up,
91 maybe,
the Washington Michigan thing.
Yeah,
because remember, like AP named them, one of them, and then whatever coaches or whatever it was. 1993.
All right, football. But Auburn beat Florida, who was SEC champ in 93, right?
Yes, that we talked about on the phone yesterday. Yes, you are correct there.
And was the only undefeated team because BC pulled the miracle at Notre Dame.
Right. A week after Notre Dame beat FSU, that left-footed kicker nailed that. Yeah, that was Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin was at BC at that time.
And don't get me wrong, Terry Bowden, the great joke about Terry Bowden is, what is 12 inches long and hangs 12 inches off the ground? Get your mind out of the gutter, Brian. It's Terry Bowden's necktie. So, I mean, but they were paying for penalties made under Pat Dye.
Right. Okay. This is the one they gave to FSU when Nebraska missed the field goal in the Orange Bowl. And y'all aren't even listed in these polls because y'all were on probation. Well, if it takes FSU a natty away, of course I support this.
I know that you do, and
of course,
and so you're not a hypocrite. And the other ones in my lifetime, 83, Auburn, and you're going to be in support of this because it's going to take one away from Miami. I mean, not that anybody's taking anything away, but in 83, Auburn was 2 in the country. Their only loss was a one-possession game to Texas. And they win the Sugar Bowl, and they're number 2 in the polls going into the New Year's Day bowls. Back then, they were all on New Year's Day, and what a glorious day that was, right? I mean, we had wall-to-wall games, and you could click around, and man, oh, man, that makes you long. I'm more nostalgic than that, than the transfer portal, truly. But Auburn's 2 in the country. They win the Sugar Bowl against Michigan. But Miami has that miraculous game in the Orange Bowl that they beat the seemingly unbeatable Nebraska bunch. And Miami hops from 4 or 5 to go to 1. Nebraska goes to 2. And Auburn wins the Sugar Bowl at 11-1 and falls to 3. And then 2004, man, look, it fell how it fell. That was the first indication of perception. First time ever, the preseason 1 and 2 ran the table, and they stayed 1 and 2 all year. So in the early days of the BCS, it was USC and Oklahoma, and USC curb stomped Ed Norton style and American X Oklahoma. Look, USC was a great football team, and maybe they would have beat Auburn. But Auburn, they'd have known Auburn was there a hell of a lot more than Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I questioned you on this yesterday because I thought the next year was the season opener when USC bagel jaw at Jordan here, but it was the year before. So yes, and back to the Spurrier. So they had the S7 SECs, the years on the wall at the Swamp, and he made them have 1990. Well, when Spurrier left, Foley erased the 1990.
When are you having Jeremy Foley over for dinner again?
Oh, my God. My despisal, if that's a word,
It's not. But hey,
goes,
you keep going, Jordan Hare Stadium.
Yeah, it goes back to Halloween of '89. Rest in peace, Norman Norman. I can't stand that son of a gun. All right. Okay. Now Cam gonna get his number retired. How about this?
Well, truly, and you know what? They should retire a laptop at Florida too.
Right.
Because I mean, all right, how has this not already happened? Was my biggest question.
We're 15 years later, right?
Yes, 15 years later.
Well, he's only been retired from the NFL though. To like do it on a game day. He's only been retired from the NFL a couple years though. I guess they could have done it during his open date, but he probably wanted to go to the Caribbean on his open date.
All right, 2 questions for you. First, serious.
Is this what we were talking about? Is this what you referenced in the green room, or are those different questions?
Well, this one is no. These are more Auburn, Florida specific, and we did not mean to turn this into our alma maters and pull up a chair, Auburn and Florida fans, and
but it's okay.
Everybody else is going to skip to your betting picks, but. Did you see last year in the celebration of 100 years of the Associated Press, they released their all-time All-American team?
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this. Before we even get into who should have been the quarterback, it's the all-time. So should it be a career or a single season? Because that's the only conversation we're having here. I think it should be a career if it's an all-time.
They gave it – Barry Sanders was picked over Bo Jackson for first team. And Barry Sanders 1 year was amazing.
He was back up to Thurman Thomas.
1 year.
He was back up to Thurman Thomas at Oklahoma State before that year.
But it was 1 year.
No, I understand. Like, because he was the backup.
Barry Sanders was first team All-American. Ahead of names like Jim Brown, ahead of Archie Griffith, ahead of who was
Orenthal James?
Huh?
Orenthal James?
Hey, don't tell him because he'll kill somebody if he gets wind of this.
He gone. He gone. What? OJ's he gone. He's dead.
Oh, okay, good. Then we can reference this up and I can feel safe about it and not be looking over my shoulder heading up Signal Mountain tonight.
Yeah, he's gone.
Man, who squeezed the juice?
Cancer. You knew he was gone. Stop it.
All right. So they are obviously putting emphasis on one season. There has never been a one season more dynamic player than Cam Newton was in 2010.
I'd like to put the Joe Burrow 19 and Cam 2010 side by side, but Burrow had more help. Burrow had more help.
Burrow had 2 NFL first rounders who were headed to Canton. And he had a first round running back. He had a first round middle linebacker and a first round DB on that team. That team was far better than Auburn 2010. Your Gators teams, especially in 2008, were better than the 2010 Auburn Tigers. Cam Newton did it with an NFL bust D tackle in Nick Fairley and a 7th round left tackle in Lee Zimba. And those were the only 3 Auburn Tigers drafted. And he carried Gene Chizik to a title. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah, and I used to give Gus Malzahn credit, but now look, Malzahn's fired at Auburn and left UCF, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm not pushing back on that. But then let me just say this: so if it was a career, because you're using the Barry Sanders example to say that's not what they were thinking, but if it was a career, there's only one football player in my knowledge, college football history, 2 natties, 1 Heisman, and 3 top 5 Heisman finishes. So if it's a career, do you choose Tebow?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I need.
But no. And I mean, we can have a conversation about a whole lot of guys in various prisms, but because Manziel set records, I will say this. no quarterback rushed for more yards in a single season than
2012.
one Cameron
Johnny
Newton.
Oh! I wonder how much Johnny Football had. I'd like to put those stats side by side as well. Johnny Football 2012, Burrow 19, and Cam. Now,
Burrow's passing stats are far superior.
Yeah.
Manziel didn't have more rushing yards, but had more total yards.
He had Mike Evans too.
But I mean, Manziel can't be part of this conversation because he didn't win the Natty.
Right. No, I know. I'm just talking about badass seasons. But yes, I'm with you on that.
He became a pop culture icon because of the Scooby-Doo and the Hotties and all the rest. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Cam theoretically carried an 85-man roster to a chip that a whole lot of Auburn fans know, unless they start declaring a handful of other titles that I'm not aware of, like they decide that 2013 that pass should have been incomplete against FSU. I mean, I don't know how you necessarily do that, but I mean, we'll figure it out, I guess.
Wait. What pass are you referencing in 2013 FSU? Why am I blanking on this?
That was the
what game?
FSU title game.
Oh, FSU
with Jameis Winston over Auburn.
Oh God, y'all gave that game away. You should have been up by 30
at
halftime.
You think I don't know this?
I'm pissed about it still. I had a lot on the money line. I still won. I had a lot on the plus. That was the easiest bet ever. Like y'all were double-digit dogs. That was crazy. Nick Marshall, first play of the game, wide open for a touchdown.
Your hatred for FSU is not greater than my love for Auburn. So don't be talking to me about ticked off.
My hatred for FSU is greater than my love for Florida.
Well, it's because you and I are similar.
I grew up, surrounded by semis. It was never fun.
You and I are similar in this regard. We hate to lose more than we enjoy winning.
Correct. That is correct.
So,
I was about to ask you a question. Dang it, and I forgot it. All right, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I just was visor tip to Cam Newton and brother, Georgia may stomp a mud hole in Auburn because who knows what is going on at Auburn right now with 3 guys being talked about calling plays and potentially 3 guys playing quarterback in the season opener at Baylor.
Wait, what? Where did how did I miss that? Is that being reported this morning or something?
No, it's been over the last week to 10 days, brother.
Wait, y'all going to play the freshmen too? That's a Jackson Arnold problem, sounds like to me.
It does sound like a Jackson Arnold problem. No, Hugh Freeze was asked about it on Monday in his weekly availability. And look.
He's making them prepare for the freshmen to run the ball.
Of course he is. It is
that's
completely understandable and coaching 101 about prepare for the 2 other guys who are much better runners than Jackson Arnold, or at least much faster. But here's the other part of that. You've already said over the summer that you told the defense to dumb down how they operate in scrimmages to help build Jackson Arnold's confidence.
There's nothing more important than him walking off the field feeling confident every practice.
So now you're going to say, we may play all 3? I mean, damn, man. Hugh Freeze, I want him as my golf partner, but damn, I don't know if I want him as my football coach.
All right, we just talked about Auburn for 19 minutes. Okay, let's talk Jam Miller, collarbone injury. This is a development in Tuscaloosa, so they are hopeful he'll be back for week 5, September 27th at Georgia. But he's definitely out week 1 and most likely out. And I mean, hopeful. So he could be out beyond, into October. And that's not great. He was their leading rusher outside of Milroe last year. 668 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry average. So Richard Young and Dre Washington, who's a transfer from the Raging Cajuns in Lafayette, who has 1,343 career rushing yards in 3 seasons in the Sun Belt, 5.9 yards per carry average. And also Daniel Hill. So all 3 of those guys are getting more reps and touches against the semis. Yeah.
I mean, it plays into a couple things. One, Alabama's got a wealth of talent at every position, and it still all comes back to this team will go how Ty Simpson goes.
Right.
2, there is nothing that happens in August that is newsworthy, that is good news if your team's being talked about, because all of it is either injury, somebody getting in trouble, DJ Lagway missing the first 2 weeks of camp. I mean, it is whatever you want it to be. Silence is golden in the month of August for college football fans.
I would say it's even more golden in June and July because that's a police blotter.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. All right. So, as expected, the Vols have named Joey Aguilar their starter, and they open with Syracuse. And excuse me. They are going with Steve Angeli, the Cuse that is at quarterback, because McCord is gone, and I don't know if any other team in the country got hit harder than Syracuse in terms of portal defections. So Tennessee, all right, so I'm looking at FanDuel. They have Tennessee 13.5 at a minus 118 price, total of 50 and 1/2. And but most other books have it at 14. Oh, it looks like DraftKings is at 13.5 as well. And okay, so I feel like I was seeing some 14.5 on Tennessee earlier this week. Looks like actually several other books have come down to 13.5, but Circa, Westgate, and South Point in Vegas still have 14, and that total continues to go down. 50 and 1/2 at FanDuel. I think we referenced that on the show that I liked the under last week, but I like it at 52, a key number on a total. So I'm out on that at 50 and 1/2. Didn't you say you have an in-pocket play on the Vols from weeks ago?
Yeah, I'm already on Tennessee when it dipped under the magic number of 14, which is where it was hovering. So my FanDuel account has already been vested. And you're 100% right. The combination of the portal and McCord graduating, I mean, that dude was magnificent last year.
Yeah, he was.
And look, I get that a lot of Syracuse fans are high on Fran Brown, and you should be. Cut his teeth in Athens, knows how to recruit, is going to get dudes moving forward to come from the South to go play in upstate New York. But this team has got a lot of holes. And, I mean, think of it this way. We've got 2 transfer quarterbacks being named as QB1s at Tennessee and Syracuse. And the biggest storyline of the offseason, at least in terms of portal, was how the Nico Amaliava thing developed in Knoxville. And then it became theoretically a NIL trade for Aguilar and money for Amaliava. Well, the drop from Amaliava to Aguilar is nowhere close to the drop from McCord to Angeli.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Angeli had 1 career start at Notre Dame, 10-1 TDI-NT ratio, but that was mostly at mop-up duty. At Syracuse, Fran Brown, 10-3 in year 1. He was outstanding, but clearly they have some NIL issues, and they need to get them straightened out because that dude can recruit if he'll retain his people if they don't get monster raises to take off. All right, so we've got some player specials and some team specials that FanDuel is offering. Yeah. In fact, yeah, good call on that. So let's transition to our boys at Game Time. SIDEKICKS officially licensed.
My big question here is, I'm really looking forward to Game Time Sidekicks getting with the program and issuing a 2004 Auburn Natty Cup, a 1993 when I was in school there, a Natty Cup. I mean, come on, Game Time Sidekicks. We need to celebrate the 7 national championships Auburn won this week.
Game Time Sidekicks has their preseason where they make their, I have no idea, but where they make their cups, and y'all came up with this news in late August, so no. Anyway, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, plus over 350 more universities, top of the market quality as far as construction and ice retention. Tons of designs and logos offered for each school. And we even offer a college vault line, everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, and 40-ounce plus bottles and shaker cups. SE16 for the 20% discount to viewers. You look like you had something on the tip of your tongue there.
Well, I just want my 1910 Auburn National Championship John Heisman Cup.
Maybe next year.
John Heisman mug.
Maybe next year. Okay, FanDuel has some player like season props. Not many, but a few. And we'll discuss a couple of SEC ones. So Arch over under passing yards 3,001.5 yards. So 3,001 yard passing would be an over. The prices on over and under minus 114 flat, which means minus 114 either way. And his touchdown passes 25.5. And then Ryan Williams, Alabama wide receiver, his receiving yards over under is 1,050.5, and his touchdown receptions is 8.5. Now, his receiving yards is minus 114 either way. His touchdown catches, the 8.5, it's over 8.5 has a minus 125 price. Under 8.5 has a minus 106 price. And Williams last year had 865 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. So he went under on both of those. I know you were thinking under on that, and I'll look up Quinn Ewers just to give you an idea of Sark's offense. I'll look up his numbers.
I would tend to lean under on both of those. Look, I think Arch is going to be. It's impossible to say he's as good as advertised because people like Paul Feinbaum say he should have been the first team 100 years AP All-American quarterback. But I think Texas is going to be in a lot of blowouts. I mean, that schedule is soft. It wouldn't surprise me if he had a couple 3 games where he finishes with 180 yards passing and they win 48-7. I mean, and the reason I am under on Ryan Williams, which I feel more strongly about than even Arch, is that wide receiver room is loaded. And Jeremy Bernard operating in the slot in that version of what Kalen DeBoer and that offense 2 years ago, if it's at its apex with Michael Penix 2 years ago, and Roma Duze and those guys, right, they move the ball around a great deal. I mean, you're looking for last year's comps comparatively on some of these guys. See the wide receiver room of Washington, because this is the regular season. So it's only those 12 games, and Alabama's going to be in a few blowouts too. So how much are they throwing in the second half?
Okay, so just for reference, Ewers had 3,472 passing yards last year, and
but that's counting the SEC championship and 2 bowl games.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is regular season only, right? Let me see if it's
correct
as that. at the top. Yes, you are correct. Okay. Oh, well, I've got his game log here. So, 322 against ASU 202. Okay, yeah, he was way under this then. Oh, God, he had 358. Let's see, so 5. Oh, he had more than 1,000 yards once the regular season was over. Okay, so he was only in the 2,400 range. And they lost their top 3 receivers. Okay.
And they got maybe the best running back room in the country.
Yep. Phil Seal's national unit rankings have him number 3 at running back for whatever that's worth.
Well, Penn State's got the best running back room in the country.
Okay, and it looks like 7 of Ewers' touchdown passes were in the postseason. So 31 minus 7 is 24. So he was under. So he was under on all these.
People, look at that Florida math at work.
Yes.
31 minus 7. You didn't have to take a shoe off. You just figured that out right there in your head.
You doggone right. How about that? Okay, so we also have a couple team specials that I thought were pretty interesting, and I'll share why I thought that. So, and they only have them for LSU and Texas right now. So, for LSU to score 1 receiving touchdown in every regular season game, the odds are plus 210. For them to score a rushing touchdown in every regular season game is plus 650. For them to have a receiving and rushing touchdown in every regular season game, that's 20 to 1. Okay. Texas, a receiving touchdown plus 300, a rushing touchdown plus 280, a receiving and rushing touchdown plus 1,200 or 12 to 1. So now I went back and I looked at Quinn Ewers' stats in the regular season, but he missed 2 games. We got to keep that in mind. But he did have a touchdown pass in every game. Just saying. Now, Nussmeier, he had a touchdown pass in every game except for Arkansas. So it would have been a loser. Now, I don't know.
I really like the Texas to get a rushing touchdown in every regular season game at plus 280 among those. And the other thing and I commend FanDuel for this, because, look, you're a pro at this. This is how you make a lion's share of your living. So I tip my visor to you for that. But for the casual bettor, this gives you, it's like an NFL survivor pool. You get a year's worth of action, juice, right, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
As long as this thing keeps going, for just one wager. And that appeals to me as somebody who's looking for it more as betting on the games I know I'm going to watch, as opposed to trying to make certain I've got the good handicap on Toledo against Akron on a Wednesday night in October.
No, I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, you have built-in action. In other words, if you don't like a play on the LSU game on a Saturday night, well, you already got action on it. So yeah, you don't need to force a play.
Well, and same thing with week 1 in the coin flip game in the horseshoe. You
just want a rushing or a receiving.
You just need a rushing or receiving touchdown, and then you get to the dominoes start falling.
Yep. Okay. All right. I'll get to my week 0 plays here shortly. Do we have any other, in pocket that we want to mention ahead of next week, like in case there's a line moving? By the way, that Kentucky line's all the way to 7.5, and it opened at 11.5. I got Toledo plus 11. I mean, it's hard for me to recommend it at plus 7.5 now. What have you bet as far as SEC teams in week 1 that you want to share? Or I know you already talked about Tennessee. Were there any other ones?
I'm on Tennessee. I'm on Alabama. Going to Tallahassee. I am on. It's been a summer full of us breaking down teams and going win totals. I am on Kentucky under. I am on LSU over. I'm on Missouri over. I think I got it at 7.5. So those are the three that, as we discussed, I mean, the Missouri schedules, even with the unknowns of Bo Prabula, the Missouri schedule is eminently doable.
Yes, and if that guy's good, they're going to be a surprise once again. I don't know that they were really a surprise last year. I mean,
well, if that guy's good with Hardy in the backfield and Coleman transferring from Mississippi State, Missouri's going to be in the playoff conversation, whether we want to believe it or not.
Well, their defense is going to be really good, regardless. And if Prabula's good, watch out. I mean, yeah, for sure. So,
and if you're a college football recruiter, and if Jeremiah Trotter has any more kids, you need to recruit that guy now. Go to his kindergarten class and get a commitment. I mean,
yeah, with all of our advances in technology and medicine, et cetera, I want Tebow's wife to have male triplets on this next go round.
Well, you can't have three quarterbacks all there at the same time.
Oh, we can have a pulling guard with a last name of Tebow. We can have a middle linebacker with a last name of Tebow, and we can.
No, you need a tight end and a fullback. No, and maybe you start running the wishbone.
No, I want one of them to be a middle linebacker. He could have been a middle linebacker. He could have been a mean.
I think he's still in the NFL if he had traded 15 for 81 and played tight end.
Yeah, with Belichick, if he would have done that right away, or not right away, but whenever New England signed him. Oh gosh, I had one other thing. Oh darn it. I was going to mention my. So I'm on Vandy over. 4.5 heavy juiced, if so, smaller play. 5.5 as well, plus money. Gators over 7.5, which I got plus money. I don't really know that it is plus money anymore. And I got one of my accounts for some reason had the Gators 61-1 to win it all. So I had to put a little 20 spot on that. And I also got LSU at 21-1. But right now, FanDuel has Florida 35-1 and LSU 13-1. I don't know that I recommend them at those.
You got Lagway at a good price too, didn't you, to win the Heisman?
Just I think on one account 18, another 20, but I got 80 on Sawyer Robertson and 90 on Haynes King. FanDuel now has Florida's. Oh, they still have plus money on Florida over 7.5, plus 116, and so you said Missouri over 6.5 over minus 170 at FanDuel right now. Hopefully you got a cheaper.
No, I wouldn't play an over under
minus 170
with that big a juice. No, this was in the 130 range maybe.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this bad boy up. So week 0, I think we talked about it a few weeks back. I like Iowa State. Most books are at 3, but our good friends here at FanDuel still have Iowa State at plus 3.5. So even better for the Cyclones. And they also, now you got to pay minus 120 on that. But yeah, I have Iowa State 27 in my power rankings. I have K-State 29. Iowa State has won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings, including 29-21 last year, albeit in Ames. And they're 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 head-to-heads, because their only outright loss was a 10-9 game in 2022 when they were 1.5 point underdog. And my accounts don't have player props yet, but FanDuel has Chase Sowell. Chase Sowell, transfer wide receiver from East Carolina. And I went over 57.5 on his receiving yards. So Sowell is going to be wide receiver 1 for the Cyclones, because they lost 2 They lost Jalen Higgins, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, who both had nearly 1,200 receiving yards apiece last year. They were drafted in day 2, both to the Texans. And so anyway, Sowell, he at East Carolina last year, in his last 7 games, because the injury kept him out the last couple, he had receiving yards totals of 75, 50. That's the only one that went under. 117, 138, 82, 67, and 72. So in 6 of 7, the last 7 for the Pirates, he had at least 67 receiving yards. So he was 9.5 yards over in 6 of those 7 games. So there's a player prop, but that's smaller than my Iowa State risk. You aren't on this game?
Not yet, but
10 minutes before kickoff, you're going to be on it. So why don't you decide?
If I'm not at a softball tournament, I'll be glued to the action as you're pounding Budweisers. So, but no, it brings up the question that if you are, and look, those teams are both preseason ranked. I'm not saying if you are not one of the traditional big name programs, why would you not want to play on week 0? Think of the added opportunities and publicity and spotlight you're going to get, because I think game day aren't they going to Dublin?
I'm not I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
So, I mean, why would you not? And same with, I think a lot of group of 6 conferences should really be calling the MAC commissioner and figuring out ways to what night works best for us. Do we play conference games on a Thursday per se? Do we figure out ways to add to the slate on Fridays per se, to where we're not getting lost in the wash of Fox's big noon kickoff with a Big Ten game that's 2 top 15 teams, the ESPN triple header of SEC games. I mean, kudos to those ADs. And yeah, you can't sacrifice multiple home games in these communities where college football is as big a tourism draw as it is an interest draw, but figure out ways to find opportunities to get in the spotlight. That only helps your program.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. What else? Okay. So the other week 0 games, I'll just point out that they have a lineup for UNLV. They have the 1 game against an FCS opponent. Dan Mullins, Rebels, minus 26.5 to Idaho State. I saw that number and I'm like, ooh, I would want -7 in the first quarter, -14 at halftime, and our friends at FanDuel are not stupid. 7.5 in the first quarter, 14.5 in the first half.
The algorithms don't lie.
Yes, they are wise. They are wise. I'll point out that I have a Kansas Fresno State, which is after Iowa State, Kansas State. I have a pretty in-depth preview on Major Wager. If you want to check it out, I have no clue on Stanford, Hawaii. I'll just probably be looking for live betting opportunities on those. And what else do we have, Mr. Greeson, to close things out here?
Well, patronize our sponsors.
Oh, yes, indeed. My apologies. ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting, the most durable and multifunctional phone case accessories. At ROKFORM, quality is paramount, so you can expect the same military grade standards with their case accessories as you do the actual cases. SEC 25 for 25% off. And we want to thank ROKFORM, Game Time, Sidekicks, and FanDuel. And we want to thank you for listening. Anything else?
Best of luck with your bets and your teams in those ball games.
Go Cyclones. By the way, 28, 18, and 2 against the spread as an underdog in Matt Campbell's tenure. All right, folks, have a great weekend. Best of luck with your picks. We'll talk to you next week.